This bit on Paper 8 exam formulae is sponsored by Examinator Online, the go-to platform for practice questions. And there are over 300 Paper 8 practice questions on Examinator. Now, listed in this document that you can see, which can be downloaded from the Executive Knowledge website under Paper 8 Resources, are the formula from the study material for Paper 8. Which ones will be in the exam? Well, some of them I can almost guarantee will be in the exam, and the others possibly. What I'm going to do with this bit is go through each of the formulae, highlighting whether or not they are highly likely to be in the exam, and I'd say there's more than 90% chance. A good chance of being in the exam, I'd say about 50-50. And some chance, well, maybe 20% chance. So as you can see, some of them I would suggest are must know and some nice to know. Starting at the top, simple interest and compound interest, they come from topic 1, and I would say both have a good chance of appearing in the exam. The next set of formulae come from topic 4. Now, the option value being intrinsic value plus time value, very straightforward. I would say there's some chance. The price of a discounted security, there you can see you take the future value, which is the maturity value, and you discount it by 1 plus the annual interest rate multiplied by number of days to maturity over 365. I would say that's highly likely to come up in a Paper 8 exam. The percentage change in bond price by applying duration, I would say there is some chance of that appearing, as with option delta, sensitivity to underlying price, some chance. Then the remainder on the first page, and that is the option gamma, option vega, option theta. I would say that the concepts of these measures may come up in the exam, but I would say it's highly unlikely that you'd have to actually do those calculations. Moving along, I would say that the current and quick ratios, and now we're moving on to topic 6 material. The current and the quick ratios, I would say have a good chance of appearing in the exam, with the other ratios, which are part of fundamental analysis, having some chance, from inventory turnover all the way down to earnings per share. Now, the issue with these is that one may pop up in the exam, maybe two, but certainly not all. And so when I'm preparing for the Paper 8, I would be making sure that I can perform a calculation for each of these ratios, but I wouldn't be necessarily spending a great deal of time. I'd spend more time on the current ratio and the quick ratio. The PE ratio, on the other hand, which is the market price per share divided by earnings per share, I would say that has a good chance. With the dividend yield and the debt ratio, well, the dividend yield, I say some chance, the debt ratio, a good chance. And then on to the last page of these ratios for Paper 8, the debt to equity ratio and the interest coverage. I would say you have a good chance of seeing questions covering those two ratios. The dividend discount model, the perpetuity version, I would say there is some chance of that appearing in the exam. But we finish off with two ratios or two formulae, I should say, which I'm sticking my neck out here, I would say you see in every Paper 8 exam. So you need to know the dividend growth model, and you need to know CAPM, that's the capital asset pricing model. And the capital asset pricing model gives you an expected rate of return of a security, and we calculate that by taking the risk-free plus a risk premium, and we calculate the risk premium by taking the beta multiplied by the market premium, that is the return of the market minus the risk-free rate. Known as the capital asset pricing model, almost always a question at Paper 8 on that. Questions are fairly straightforward, but you just have to know that formula. going into the exam. And I would say exactly the same with the dividend growth model. You'll have a question on that model, usually fairly straightforward. They give you the variables and ask you to calculate what the value of the security is. So I wouldn't necessarily memorize all these formulae and ratios. The ones that I've said that there is a high chance of being in the exam, yes, you must be able to work with them. But doing practice questions, covering the formulae, covering the ratios will be sufficient to get this material into your short-term memory for the exam. And as always, we recommend going to Examinator online for the paper 8 practice questions.